Do not come.
I'm the kind of person that has to like get it right in the bedroom.
Whoa.
Take that out of context.
Yep.
Wow.
He's recording. I digress.
I'm gonna come.
No. Good morning. This is the Riffs
and Rhythms podcast.
I'm Brad Brock.
And I'm Paul Robertson. Who the hell? Where's Kevin?
I ate him.
Okay. Get in my belly.
No.
So-
Kevin's out doing what Kevin's supposed to be doing.
Yelling at his drummers for forgetting their drum kits on a trip up to Orlando.
That's it.
Yes,
no,
that was-
it's the wrong BPMs. No, Kevin's out playing a gig, and I thank you so much, Paul, for letting me sit in and hang with you.
That's right. Yeah. So those of I don't even have to give any introduction to the guy sitting next to me here. You know him. He's been on the show many times. This, I cannot believe you are the first time that you've actually been a host on the show. You've been a bartender. You've been the board guy, the sound guy, right? Before Devin had joined us in our lives, and you've been a guest.
Yeah, and I've been fired from every position.
Yes. So now we're just
Keep applying.
just push you right up to the top. We'll move you out of the way. Just go be the host, so you
falling
don't fuck
upwards.
other things up, right? So
It's failing upwards.
yeah,
Failing upwards.
Yes,
That's write that down. That's right up there with synergy.
yeah. But they call it was that Peter principle, right? I think that's a term there too. So so also we got here our faithful companion CNI dog, Devin, the ghost and the ox.
That's me. I guess I'm a seeing eye dog for some reason.
Sure.
Can I be more like the
Emotionally support mammal.
No, like the junkyard dog.
I was going
like
to
a
say
pit-
like
like a
the,
pit bull?
the
Like a pit
emotional
bull?
support gator.
Yeah, I'll take that. I like that.
All right, perfect there. So he's happy. He's got a new microphone mount that he's rocking tonight.
It's
here.
the little things that makes me
That's
happy.
Look
right,
at you. No, he looks very professional over there.
That's right. Yeah,
I felt like I was on Stern for a minute.
Yeah, so we're working on actually getting a better desk, as he's already complained about 5,000 times already. But anyway, so again, enough about us here. Again, like we said, Kevin's got other things going on tonight. So again, we do switch it up. I know there'll be times when I probably will need a fill-in guest, which is what it's all about, which is fine. We're all interchangeable and replaceable. So anyway, so let's get just right to it here. We've got a great guest on the podcast here. We've both, Brad and I, know this person. Great local, big favorite of the local crowd here. We're going to learn a little bit more about our guest, and let's introduce to the podcast. How you doing, Fox?
Doing well. Good to be here. Thanks for having me. Looking forward to it.
I'm glad. I know we've been going back and forth for a while and trying to schedule when we do. We're going to talk about some things also that is coming out and we're trying to tie in together as well, right? So I know that's a big proud thing that you want to talk about. But yeah, so you're from the North County area here in Palm Beach County, or because it sounds like you've been in the air for a while now, right?
I'm fake from Jupiter.
Oh.
So I'm not actually from Jupiter, but I've been here for 18 years. So
stolen ballot,
Yeah, I was gonna
stolen.
say, you're naturalized
people,
at this point.
people think I'm from here because I've been here so long, but I'm a fake local. But I mean, I'm very, very obsessed with it here. So I have disowned and disavowed my original hometown. Just kidding. I'm from Georgia. So I grew up in Georgia in the middle of not what you'd think. It's surrounded by country, but it's like a little bougie little golf cart town where all the pilots live, surrounded by sticks.
It sounds awesome.
It's called Peachtree City, but
Okay.
I feel like I'm from Jupiter. I mean, I've been here longer, here than anywhere else. So
Okay. I mean, I've been now living in Florida longer than I've more than half my life, so I consider somewhat not an official like this guy, or this guy, but
I feel like Florida, when you move here, it's just part of the doctrine that if you spend enough time here, you become a native.
well, it's native versus local, right?
Right, sure,
Like you
that
can only
makes
be a
sense.
native if you're native, but you can
Right.
be a local if you don't constantly ask people where the best pizza is. So if you ask that, you can't be local.
If you can successfully give directions to people and good opinions, then I think you're solid.
Well, I got one for you. So, and again, I don't know if you follow much of the Jupiter Facebook groups.
Oh, I'm obsessed with them.
Okay.
It's like
Okay.
my most fun I have all day.
Okay, so of course I don't get too much because I got other things to do to get into Facebook, battles. But I was on my way driving down Indiantown out by the turnpike, and they're building some little, I don't know what it is. It looks like a bank. It looks like a Chipotle or whatever, right? So I'm like, what the hell? They've been working on this forever. And I post and says, does anybody know what's going in at the turnpike in Indiantown?
I already know the top 5 answers to that.
I know what the first one you're going to say
yeah.
is, right?
Oh,
What?
yeah. They're all going to say it's a Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A,
Yeah.
right. That is a running joke in
always.
these Facebook groups. So, of course, here comes the Chick-fil-A's, right?
Yep.
Oh, the Chick-fil-A, but this, oh, no, it's going to be, somebody said a Buc-ee's. I'm like, well, it's maybe a baby Buc-ee's.
That's a new one.
Yeah.
That's like
We
they're
all know
obsessed
the
with that
next
now.
Buc-ee's is going into the Treasure Coast. So
You
But-
think?
yeah, it's already done.
But the great,
I mean, it's not already built, but it's coming.
but to your point, though, about asking local, being a local, somebody asks, like, well, what's it with everybody saying it's a Chick-fil-A? And somebody commented, no, you're not from Jupiter
Yep.
without actually saying you're not from Jupiter because it's the running joke in every there's a Chick-fil-A going everywhere in Jupiter right now. So, but
And just because of that, it'll never happen.
Yeah,
They said it too
yeah,
many times.
yes.
It's like reverse manifestation. Now it's like it can never happen.
yeah, and now the discussion is what's going to go at the location of the Chili's.
Well, as long as it's not a luxury high rise, I'd be fine with it. Anything other than that is okay. That's the only unacceptable answer in Jupiter.
Somebody commented on the one there at the corner of Indiantown, the US one, the Chili's right there.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like,
yeah.
It's like, oh, maybe a Rachel's. I'm like, sure,
Oh,
yeah,
Rachel's
that'd be-
too. That would be interesting.
Maybe Rachel's Jr. I don't know if that works.
No, that might be a little. That's a little awkward. So
Just one dancer a night.
There's too many ways that can go
yeah,
that are not
yeah,
good.
yeah. So yeah, well,
Kids
look,
welcome.
I
yeah.
miss that Chili's though.
I know that's what everyone's
It
like.
used to
that
be
was-
my spot whenever
Oh,
I would stop there and
absolutely.
have my
2 for 1.
my
2 for 1
2 for
Gitas.
ones
Yeah.
and my
Yeah.
fajita explosion salad or quesadilla.
I know.
Then I go to the beach.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
I posted about it because I was complaining that Chili's has enough money to sponsor a car in the NASCAR, the Daytona 500, but they can't keep our Chili's open. What's up with that?
That's bootleg.
Yeah, for sure. So-
Too many people moved here and dragged it because the old school Jupiter people were like, we are happy with it being just as bootleg as it is.
Yeah,
That was totally fine. And,
Yep.
and being that's how you know if you're a longtime local girl. I know like 5 girls that have been thrown out of that place. And usually it had to do with either coming from the beach or going to the beach and just not behaving properly.
and then
So-
you end up at corners at some point, right?
Oh yeah.
yes.
I'm not gonna.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Don't incriminate yourself, right? Yeah,
Well, it's not called that anymore.
yeah,
So
that's,
I could.
yeah.
I
See,
could.
well, look, because we're local, we're locals enough that we can
How
call
about
it.
when it was outdoor cafe? That's
Was
oh,
it
yeah.
Spanky's too?
Well, that was before. That was after Spanky's, and after
I
Hooters.
remember when it was Spanky's.
Yeah.
It was after Spanky's and after Hooters, but before Corners.
See, I wasn't here for Hooters, and I moved in 2002 to Jupiter, and I'm like, and I have people talking about, I'm like,
yeah, I missed
Hooters
it
and
too.
Jupiter?
I missed it narrowly, but outdoor
Yeah,
cafe.
yeah.
We just called it the Tiki Bar.
Yeah, Jupiter did not used to be as pinkies out as it is.
No,
It was not.
yeah.
It was Pinky's in for
Yeah.
sure.
It's still a little bit of a small town feel, right? Even it's a very expensive now.
It's
but
clinging to
it's-
it.
Yeah.
It's the people that have been here forever. Because if I go to I can go to any bar usually and see someone that I know. But if I go to certain places, there's a lot of old school crew hanging out, and they keep the old traditions going. But the prim people, the proper, you can spot them.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the New Yorkers.
Everyone's over by the inlet that's not from Jupiter.
Well, I was
right?
used
Yeah.
to New York, but there's a lot of other locations that sent representatives during COVID. So there's a lot of new.
There was a lot of reconnaissance happening
there's a
during
lot
that
of
time. For
new
sure.
representation in town.
All right, folks. I swear this is a music show right here, rather than talking about the local, scene here.
But you ready for this segue?
yes,
What Jupiter does do very well is host live music. There are tons of places
For sure.
to go see really great music that present music really well, like Double Roads. Any iteration of Double Roads has been really good at showcasing
yeah,
live, local, original music. And now we could move over.
right, all right.
Well
Because
played.
Fox Maple, you are one of the only, not one of the only, you are an original band, or you're not the band, but you're a band.
I don't look like 4 people.
Bring them all in.
They're all off camera.
But you guys are murdering the scene with original music, and I think that's unbelievable. I know that you play at the fair, and that's been a regular thing for you guys. I see you've been, at least the last few years, you guys have been playing at the South Florida Fair.
Well, now we've moved.
Martin County.
Yeah, so
That's right.
that we did,
yes.
4 years
That's a
at
good
South
segue.
Florida, and now this year will be, and it's a slightly different version of my band. It's the sort of the cover band, Fox and Foes. We'll be at Martin County Fair. Yeah.
Yeah, you just played a Martin County Fair.
We did, yes, right. Yeah.
And for Big Fest with Kevin,
That's right. Yeah, Big Fest. Right.
which I saw, and it was amazing.
It's so we had Micah Robbins. He is the executive director of the fair.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Yep.
That's very cool.
So we were chatting with him. I was like, "This is again. It's bringing all these things in. It's kind of So when I told Kevin, I was like, "Yeah," I says, "We got Fox on the show, and she's playing the fair also." And he goes, "I go, that's man. I know what gets to go after.
running a thread through everybody.
That's right. Like,
I love a fair.
literally."
You got to love a fair. It's just fun. It's a fun thing, and people have a good time.
What's
there,
your favorite? What was your favorite food at the fair?
Well, see, I don't eat that kind of stuff, but I like to observe people eating that kind of stuff because it's just so interesting.
And then judge them.
No, and just think, I can't believe that they eat that, but that must be really good. No, I did try one year a deep fried Oreo, but I don't really eat sweets. Not because I'm like, oh, I'm on a diet. It's just I just don't eat sweets.
Not sweet, right.
But having that, I don't think I had sweets for 6 months after that. It was
You
such
wouldn't
an
need it.
overload.
You would need to. All your teeth probably
It
fell
was
out.
such an overload, but
I do
it's-
love fair
yeah.
food. It's a guilty pleasure. I'm glad that fairs only come around once a year.
Right.
Because I couldn't. I don't know if my arteries can handle it. But I do love elephant ears. I have not a big sweet tooth, but I do enjoy the sweets, elephant ears. But I like the savory stuff too. The blooming onions.
Oh yeah.
I like the fried pickles.
But
All
look-
that kind of stuff.
but
Corn
look-
dogs, forget it.
But let's be fair.
Ha!
Okay.
Ha!
Thank
You missed your cue, man.
He's too busy vaping. I never get the sound effects for me, Thank you.
We'll fix it in post.
Yeah, delay. Yeah. So,
delay. It was just a delay pedal.
Yeah,
It was just a delay pedal attached.
all right. So yeah. So speaking of place, there we go.
That
I
scared the
was
shit
not
out
ready.
of me.
Yeah.
I was not ready for that.
Yeah,
I thought my pants ripped.
No, man, I thought my life ripped. That's 2 times I've been out here. And he scared me.
Last time it was the cha-ching. You got scared by the cha-ching. That's what it was.
That's
Yes.
loud in here.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
my God. Good Lord. So, yeah, he's gonna be on a. He's got to catch up now. So now he's gonna play every sound effect all in one. Once.
I'm not gonna be ready for getting ear holed every 3 seconds by one of these noises. Okay,
Oh,
I'm gonna
my
try
God.
to prepare myself.
So, yeah.
Keep my poise.
But here we are. It's February 25th,
All right.
Tuesday. So you either have a record coming out or it's already come out.
Oh yes. Yeah. We're almost there. So name drop my producer Ben Childs, Killbillies,
Nice.
tremendous.
Okay.
So he and I are working on the last song, which is the title track. But meanwhile, I have the last single to release imminently. So, and I'm going to be sending y'all a very cool video. I can't wait for y'all to see it. It's going to be really awesome. And yeah, it's a good song. It's a little bit more emotional. Although I thought Jupiter Sunrise, which I released that in like October. Jupiter Sunrise is about Jupiter, and it's about how Jupiter's being, let's say, changed. Let's be nice. So that's what that song's about. And I thought that was kind of emotional, mainly for me and anyone who's been here a long time. But this one's more like universal. I mean, it's called Nobody's Business. So that song has got a lot of emotion behind it. But it's I think people are going to enjoy it. But the album itself, one more song, a little bit of mixing. So we're close. I wish I had a date. I have a date, I think, for probably a week for Nobody's Business. And then the album, I'm hoping for April.
So you say you're dropping a video. Are you dropping a music video or is it just kind of like a lyric video?
I have a few lyric videos done, and I enjoy making those. This one's going to be more of a music video. It's not, some huge high budget. We're not going to drive anything off the US 1 bridge yet.
That'd be awesome.
Give me some time, but not right
There
now.
are some other bands around the area that are
That's
driving
right.
cars off of bridges.
If I go off one of those bridges, though, I need to go off the Donald Ross bridge because that's like the running joke of my life is the Donald Ross bridge. I don't know why.
I got the cheapest, biggest bang for your buck. Just drive the car over the Brightline tracks, and then you're gonna get what you need.
I hope there's not people still taking their band photos on the Brightline tracks because we just don't need to be a statistic.
Listen, guys, and this is a PSA. Just green screen it. Let AI put the tracks in, for the love of God.
Let chat do it. Man.
There's no stopping those trains.
Well, that's why they're called trains. That's why you're just not supposed to go on tracks like that.
That's right. And
now you're right. You're right.
so this video, though, I guess we'll have a song to review on the show. That
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So yeah. So we would normally reserve, there's only been one person, one artist that the song was reviewed in front of them.
Oh yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very sensitive.
So that was Kevin. That was Kevin, right?
Oh, he can handle it.
Yeah. So Freya was our guest that night. She changed seats. Kevin got on the hot seat. We watched Kevin's video. We reviewed his video. Freya, his daughter, and he was a little nervous there about how being in the hot seat. But so we reserve just that it's.
I feel like that comes with the territory. And like when you're an artist, it's kind of kind of your baby. And I feel that way about my stuff.
Yeah. And plus, we want to stretch want to stretch everything out. Like, we'll have you on as a guest, but we won't talk about your stuff until.
But you don't know you've really made it until people just start blasting you. Like, once you're never really big until you get a lot of haters. So
yeah,
it'll happen.
It wasn't ever.
So say something to piss everybody off.
The
I do
music
that all the
thing
time.
was never a big deal for me. I never really got a lot of hate for that. But when I started getting podcast hate,
oh, that's how you know you're on fire.
It took me a minute to really process that. And because I put a lot of it, it's a baby to me too. I put a lot of effort into that show, Jams and Cocktails. Is that the hat I'm wearing?
Yes.
I brought a couple.
Good advertising. Good placement.
And so when people were starting to really rag on us, just because the show is a lot of nonsense.
It's the best kind of show.
And it's so once I got over it, now I welcome it. Rip it apart. Because people still watch it for whatever reason.
Yeah. So again, you probably know this, Fox, is that Brad's show is joined. We brought together a few shows here now to do a network, right? So under Brands, Booze, and I forgot my own damn podcast network here. Brands, Bands, and Booze.
Brands.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Trump. Yes. So again, Jams and Cocktails, Riffs and Rhythms, the Drums and Rum show is going to come back. So again, we're always up for working together. Here Brad's a host. I'll be on his show probably in a couple weeks or so, or again whenever he wants me to show up is
tomorrow actually.
Yeah, okay. Yes.
It sounds like y'all need one more show on the lineup.
Are you asking to do a show?
Oh no, I mean it doesn't have to be me, although clearly I'd be a good representative. I think you need titties and beer to be your fourth channel.
Wow.
That's what my show.
Yeah, Drums and Rums, Jams and Cocktails, Titties and Beer. I'd like it.
Well, I don't know if I'm qualified, so
Well,
I mean,
just make sure all your guests can qualify.
Yeah, that's not bad. We need to put her on the payroll.
yes, that's right. You're hired. You're hired. So
ask me if I do it, because I would.
You were talking before the show was you said you were bartending in the Jupiter area quite a few years ago, right?
Yep.
That is one thing we keep talking about. We do have an open position for a bartender. Just it doesn't pay much, but you get to hang out at least, and so until we get some sponsors,
I'll take it on a revolving basis.
Okay, that works. So
yeah, we have Sweet Derek, Sweet Savannah, and Sweet Fox.
That's right. There you go.
Sweet Fox. That's quite a name.
Yeah.
That's definitely not what it said on my senior shirt. That would have been good though. Yeah. Well, my middle sister was Maple Sugar, so you think I'd get something like Sweet Fox? That's not what it said. That's all right.
Maple Sugar.
Yeah, she was Maple Sugar. Although that made sense because she was really nice to everybody. Yeah. I was nice. I was just weird. I was on the football
That
team.
could be construed as not nice.
No, I was nice, but I was just a strange person. I was on the football team and musician and
That's awesome. If I may,
There's a lot going on.
the first time I ever heard about you was, it had to have been 2014. I was auditioning musicians just to get a duo going, and I was playing with this guy named Seven.
Oh,
Stand-up
yes.
bass player.
Yes. I played an Irish thing with him for like
Right.
5 seconds. You got a better memory than me.
Right. It's scary sometimes because other times I can't remember why I went in the kitchen.
That name sounds familiar.
Yep.
Awesome. Great stand-up player. Super cool guy. Wonderful mustache.
True power mustache.
We were jamming together. I got busy doing some other stuff, so it kind of fell apart. But he was always talking about you on mandolin.
Yeah, I
we
was
should
still
bring you in and do and
I
play
was still
mandolin.
new.
Play mandolin.
I was still really green too.
But that was 10 years ago.
Wait,
or
I've
more.
got a thread here. We're gonna go because I think I Facebook stalk you enough.
Good. Someone's got to do it.
Get that engagement going.
You used to play with a guy named Kenny.
See,
Carr?
okay, now everybody understand I have a brain injury from football. So I have like a very severe problem with my memory, especially the years 2013 and 2014 because I got that concussion in 2015. So if I don't remember something, it's not because of any reason other than that.
Fair.
So I think I know who you're talking about, and he's a guitar player, right? He was like almost like a folk player, right?
Yes.
Did he move somewhere?
Right.
I can't. Oh, Kenny Carr.
Yes.
Yeah, he and I talked for a little bit, and actually that was one of the first times I did like a taped audition on the mandolin, and I
Okay.
was still like pretty new. And he sent me some really challenging songs that were out of my range, but I gave it the old college try. But my genres, I think, were a little too far from him.
Do you remember what year that was?
I gotta say that had to be 2015
Okay.
or the end of 2014, but it's hard to remember.
So that must have been. So I played with him,
Okay.
and ultimately was, I think, he felt it just wasn't my vibe. After just the acoustic thing, and and being mostly always been a rock kind of
Yeah, he had
guy,
like a folksy, almost like a bluegrassy thing going on.
Altered Roots.
Nice. You got a great memory.
So, well, I haven't had enough to drink yet, so.
Oh,
Yeah, give him that.
hello. Who messed that up? You.
So are you still playing mandolin?
Yes. The funny thing is that I first got a mandolin, I want to say about 2009. And I mean, I technically play like 11 instruments, but I'm only stage proficient, if you will, at maybe 3. And I played bass forever. I mean, I've played bass since I was in middle school. So and when I was at that point, I was just starting to transition into trying to play mandolin. And I've played in punk bands, I played in surf rock bands, I played in like metal bands. I know you can't believe it looking at me. I actually played in metal bands. I had like a black faux hawk or a bleach blonde faux hawk the whole time I did that, and still wasn't believable. So I took up mandolin in like 2009, and Chris Thiele. That's why. My dad got me a Nickel Creek album when I was in high school, and I fell in love with Chris Thiele. And I listened to that album. Then when I went to college, I was playing college sports, so I didn't play any music. I brought my guitar with me, but I was really never a super talented guitar player. So when I got out of college and I moved down here, I was trying to find an instrument that I'd be interested in to play more of like the kind of music I was writing at the time, which is more country and folk. And that's the instrument. I said, hey, $90, I can get a Rogue mandolin online. Horrible. Worst instrument in the history of the earth, but I got it and I started just writing these songs. So actually, Last of the Lost is primarily, this album that's coming out is primarily songs I wrote back in 2010, 11, 12, 13, and then like 2 new songs. And then a bunch of them, I rewrote almost all of them, but I wrote them back then when I first was just sitting around my house with this little busted Rogue mandolin that I still have. And yeah, it's completely like disintegrating. There's a rubber band tying the pick guard on. There's a couple. Oh yeah, there's a piece of like Kleenex like tucked under the pick guard so it doesn't slap. I mean, it's horrible.
That's so much character than that instrument, though.
Oh, and yeah, I would absolutely never bring this to my luthier. He would be like, "Get this out of here."
He would just
Brian.
burn it.
Brian would be
there's
like, "Get
way
this out
too
of-"
much work.
Brian would be like, "This is out of my shop." I've actually joked with him about it. I think I showed him a picture of it. He's like, "No, that's not coming up to bubble up."
Is this is Bubble Ups?
Yep. He's my luthier.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
He was here too.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
incredible.
Yeah.
He's the man. And actually, so now I only play almost always, probably 95% of the time, I play an octave mandolins. So I have 2 gigantic octave mandolins that don't even look like mandolins. Everybody thinks they're a guitar. Everybody says, "Oh, is that an 8-string guitar?" And I always say, "I don't know if that's a thing, but no." Because I guess it is. I mean, they probably have every iteration of guitar by now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's 2 octave mandolins. One's Eastwood, one is gold tone. I love them. They're only reason that I've been able to expand my band the way I have, because me playing these little tiny mandolins, it's thin. I love it, but it's thin.
Right.
So it was really hard for me trying to play in bands with that over the years, unless it was like with 7, it was like a 4-piece Irish band.
Sure.
And it's like my memory is so bad. I can't remember the other folks that were in that, because there was an older guy who was a guitar player, who was great, and there was an older lady that I believe was a fiddle player that was great. And they named it something really good. It was named after like a river, like in the area, but not like the Loxahatchee. It was a really good name. I wish I could remember it, but I'm glad I don't, because 7 probably wants to keep that name for something
see, there
at
you
some
go.
point. So I can't remember it, but yeah, that was a cool.
I had to reconnect with him because we lost touch after I kind of just abandoned the project.
I don't know if I've heard from him the last few years.
He pops up on my people you know every now
Well,
and then.
you need
there you
to
go.
accept
I know, I
that
need to accept
a
that.
suggestion.
It just,
Facebook
the algorithm
has-
is putting him back in my life for a reason.
Facebook is telling you something, brother.
The Zuck is telling you.
Although Facebook tells me to add people that are not good for my mental health to add.
Yeah, see, we can't trust it.
That's true.
So the callback to your surf band, remind me what the name of that group was.
Stratolites.
The Stratolites.
Stratolites.
I do remember. I don't know if I saw you guys out. Here goes my bad memory. I don't know if I saw you out in real life or if I saw videos. But you guys played some really cool tunes, and you played bass in that band, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That was really fun. We did so much cool stuff like Dick Dale's Adventures and Link Ray. I mean, the music in that, like of all the projects I played, that was some of my favorite material. And then we kind of turned it into a combination. It was, at first we started just dabbling with like some Johnny Rivers and some stuff that had some vocal stuff. Because originally it was kind of surf rock mixed with like surf indie at the time, because I was writing this stuff because I had a 4-string Epiphone electric mandolin that I was writing all this crazy stuff on. And I was trying to transition that into playing it out, and it was really complex. Funny enough, some of the songs from that are on Upswell, my first release. I finally was able to like put it into the right format. But I formed that band with a guitar player, and he was like hardcore surf rock, like true life garage 60s surf rock. And then I had this like indie vibe. So we turned it into that for a while, and it was cool. And we were playing at places like Respectables and things like that. And then we thought, let's make this more like crowd friendly. And so we started adding oldies. And then we started adding Motown. And then it really was good. I mean, that was a great combo. It was super fun, and it got me better at singing because I hadn't sung much besides metal. So that was pretty fun. And then
you guys were doing quite a bit. I remember that band being notable.
yeah, we started
that makes
playing
sense.
a lot more shows. We went from playing maybe every few months. Well, if you're in a metal band, you get used to playing once every 3 months.
Right.
Because there's like 5 venues in the entire like Tri-County area that you can play. And then the punk bands, I was playing with the punk bands like out of Lake Worth and stuff, it's like 3. It's like even less because the metal club's like, well, you're not hardcore enough for us. So that was so limiting. And then finally the Stratolites started to break that. I started to get to play, oh my God, I get to play 3 shows this month. Then when COVID happened and we locked down, that's how Fox and Foes got formed. All we had was the garage and a bunch of acoustic instruments. Right. And that's, then all of a sudden, that is so different to book. That you can play a duo, a trio, a 4-piece, and you can play out 4 or 5 nights a week if you want.
Right.
And then getting the giant mandolins meant I could finally play solo. Then it was really like too much. I was just like, can I play 10 shows in a week? I want to try.
So
Let's see.
Why not?
So if you can play multiple instruments. I think what I'm hearing there's a one man band off between the two of you.
No, I can't play them at the same time. I can barely play the mandolin and stomp a tambourine at the same time. So I tap out immediately.
But you could do it. All it is it's just breaking the brain. Once you break the brain, because that's what happened to me. It was once I was able to stop the doop bop boop bop boop bop and actually be a little bit more complex and let my arms do whatever they want and the legs did whatever they want. It was the sky's the limit. What else can I add?
Yeah,
and so you just run out of appendages.
You have to become subconscious.
Independence.
And that's, I mean, I feel it happening to me because the tambourine can be doing one rhythm while my strum pattern's different and I'm singing. But the second I become self-aware of that,
Right.
everything becomes really hard.
Right.
And
you
it'll
have to
happen
not be
that.
conscious of it. It just has to be
And it'll
almost
happen
like a reflex.
that. It'll happen like that. I'm like, oh my God.
Don't think.
My leg's
Don't
tired.
think.
And then it's like, as soon as you think, oh, my leg's tired, or like, oh, and that's why having ADHD and OCD while playing music is very difficult. And a brain injury. So it's like a power 3-pack. Oh, yeah.
But it could be a
pretty
good
fun.
exercise.
It is. It's always good
So
exercise.
for me, I remember vividly one night where I had been trying to work on this drum pattern, and it was just like a surf. It was just that,
Oh, the best. That's the most beautiful sound on the earth.
right? Just that double tap on the snare, and I just could not get it while I was playing guitar and doing it and singing and doing the whole thing. And I remember one night it was an empty bar. I think it was the Dolphin Bar in Jensen Beach.
Oh,
Nobody was there. It was
throwback.
me and the bartender, and I was just doing this song, and I hit it, and it happened, and I got excited, and I lost it.
Oh, yeah.
But it's stuck. So the next time I tried it again, it was in the queue, and that was, that's like the next step. Then you do more complex things.
Oh, I love that
But-
though. When you're playing and you try something and you're like, this is a bad idea because you're just like winging it, and then I'll be the one that's like, I'm just gonna go to the high note. I'm just gonna do it, and then that one time that it hits, and you're thinking, okay,
Holy
now I got to
shit.
do it next time, and then next time you're there, you're like, I'm not doing it. Like it's not my night. High notes they're hard. Pick your battles.
For real.
So man, this is some major threading through all sorts of things here, venues and other musicians in the area, and can't believe
Yeah,
it.
man.
Can't
Y'all
believe
go
you-
old school. You go deep too.
Fox
yeah.
has been on the scene. That's what I mean. I guess that's what I'm trying to pull out of you is you've been on the scene a very long time,
Yep.
and not you've been on the scene as a youngling or fledgling musician.
A youngling. I like that
Yeah,
term.
and really just getting out there and trying it. Whereas I don't know, I'm the kind of person that has to like get it right in the bedroom.
Whoa,
Take that out of context.
Yep.
Wow.
He's recording.
I'm
We're-
gonna not go where I could because I've only had one beverage. So
What did you?
Fair.
I could have totally like.
What was that sound drop?
Do not come.
I digress.
I'm gonna come.
Oh my.
There you go. Now we're done. So yeah, you set it up yourself.
Oh.
That might be the intro. That
Get
next,
it right in the bedroom.
Yeah.
I'm all right. So not even gonna take. I'm not gonna take the low hanging fruit. I'm just gonna go.
What do you mean by that?
Exactly. I'm just gonna pivot. I'm pivoting like Ross in the hallway.
Smart. I'm blushing. That's what I'm doing over here.
But so you're a perfectionist and you want to know, like, as you go out, you're saying like everything's got to be
right, I want to feel comfortable because the last thing it's even when I get on stage and people give me requests that I don't know, I really, really put up a protest because I probably could pull it off, but that's not my thing.
I
you know?
respect that.
Now I can be bought.
Oh well,
So depending on the
to be fair,
depending on the value of the tip bucket there.
$20 is $20.
well, also it's about consent. So if you ask me for something I don't really know, but you consent to it not being what you've heard,
Yeah.
so you've got to okay. So the tip's cool, and I appreciate that. But if you ask me for something that I fake know, like I know the song. Okay, my favorite example is I had someone the first time when this has happened 100 times since then. Somebody asked me a couple years ago for a Whitney Houston song. And I had a couple beverages and a couple of my girlfriends were there and we were clowning a little bit. And these girls had like a girls' night going. I think it was like a bridesmaid whatever convention. What are they called?
Bachelorette party.
That's how long it's been since I went.
Bridesmaids
A lot
convention.
of
That's
people-
new. That's
people
got to be
don't-
on the shirts.
That's coming to Orlando next year.
People don't
Yes.
invite me to them anymore because I'm just escalate them too much. So it's been a long time. So they're having this bachelorette party, and the girls are just having a great time. And they ask me for Whitney Houston, and I say, "Well, theoretically, I know the song, but it's not going to sound like Whitney Houston." And they did not care. They were having a great time. They were like, "Please, please, please." So I played "I Want to Dance with Somebody" in the middle of, I think it was Johnny Longboat's in Singer Island.
Amazing.
And these girls just lost it. They were having so much fun, and it was a blast. But they knew that it was not going to be. Yeah.
The original version. Yeah.
And then I had another girl in another bar, and I wish I could remember where it was. It was somewhere around like North Palm. And they asked me for Celine Dion. And I had just enough beverages to be willing to do My Heart Will Go On. And I did not realize that song transposes 5 times, like 5 or 6 times. So the key keeps going up. And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, this is not a good
shit.
place for me to go. And I thought, what if I just went back? And I said, nope, we committed. We have to go.
That's
and
right.
It was just insane. It was a great exercise.
You ended up that song clinging to a door in the ocean.
Yeah, I definitely felt like Jack, but I was smart because I did transpose it down just because I assumed I couldn't sing like
so you
Celine.
started
Yeah.
it
So I
at
started
a
probably 3
reasonable
octaves.
key.
And then by the end, I was trying to do the octave she was in. So there was a lot of artistic licensing with whether I go up or down in certain areas. But again, they had a great time and it was fun. Yeah.
So, you remember a story that was shared on your show about the, why am I drawing a blank now? The leafy greens. And
Good friends of mine. Good friends of mine.
And a request that I threw down on them. So
Yeah.
it was very similar. Was they were playing at Blue Point, and then they ended up hating me afterwards because they were on the show. Brad brought it up on the show after it. He goes, "What's this? I hear somebody requested a song." And now again,
Well, it's because you put $100 bill in their bucket.
That's an excellent way, by the way, to everyone listening.
Yeah,
That's a great way to get a request
$100.
played.
Yes.
I will tap dance if
Yeah.
that's what you want.
So it was right. It was a song it wasn't a song that they had ever they played
Leaf.
before, but I thought Ellen would be a great song from the new. And of course, I throw some money down, and it's hard to back away from a throwing 520s on a stage there.
But if anyone can do it, it's Billy. He's good at that. He's
So
got
here was
his
the
boundaries. I've known them
right.
for like 14, 15
So the challenge
years,
was
Yeah.
they gave it a shot, got the chords, and then what they realized was, like I said, I give the A for effort. There was a change from between the chorus and the verse. It went from a straight pattern, and then it went rock. So it was a Miranda Lambert song.
Oh, okay.
Tequila Does.
Oh, I don't even know that song.
So it's very swingy, and then it goes into a straight 4/4 rock kind of feel, and they're like,
I can see Miranda's song doing that.
Yeah, so
yeah.
you're reading the chords and all that, and then you realize, oh shit, there's a totally different
Massive
change.
change.
They're like, oh fuck, it's like, hey, So it wasn't that I was like, again, to me, I just thought it would be a great song. I don't know if they ever did include it in their repertoire, but I thought Ellen.
Oh, so I thought you meant you heard them do it. Did they?
I
perform
made
it?
them do it.
Okay,
Yes,
all right.
that's what I meant. Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
But all right, so this is fun. Whenever I get to talk about my friends, I can say like their rendition, even if it was like their worst version of it, is still better than like
Yeah.
half the people around that like
right, yeah.
have played it for a while. Yeah, that's
God, that's so right. That's
no,
Yeah.
they rock. They're awesome.
Yeah,
I'm playing
yeah.
with them. I'm playing with them on the third. Well, they're playing I'm playing before them. They're playing I'm trying to remember what the time slots are. I think it's 5. I'm 5 to 7:30, and they're I think 8 to 11 at Double Roads on the 13th. March 13th.
Okay.
March
Okay.
13th.
And we got full band, and I think they have full band that night too.
Okay.
But I worked at Gold's Gym with Billy 100 years ago.
Oh, crazy.
wow.
Yeah, that's how
awesome.
long I've known them, and yeah, that's okay. Billy's already a fit guy. He was like a muscle man. I mean, he was like Hulk Hogan of East Jupiter. He was swole. I was like mini
was
swole.
swole.
I was like somewhat swole, but not enough. I wasn't committed enough. I was
I'm
committed to
swollen.
tequila. Yeah.
He's swollen.
This
Yes.
area.
At that point,
Oh
I
my
was.
God.
That was like probably 2012, 13. At that point, I was like Palm Beach Punishers football team had ended, and then I was about to go and play for Miami. And when I went to play for Miami, they're like, "Could you gain some weight?" And thinking about like I was off for a year, I'm like, "Yeah, it's easy." Like, sure, you want me to gain some weight? They're like, "Yeah, we gained some weight," because they wanted me to play. Oh, they wanted me to play strong safety. So I put on like 20 pounds, and it's not, let's call it half muscle for that. And that was really fun until I broke my head. But yeah, so that was fun though. Billy was he was one of the he was the head of training. So and super fit, and he's still super fit. They're both very fit, but they're good people.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have a lot of fun that night.
Oh.
We'll definitely be telling old stories.
March
From the
13th.
gym.
That's a Friday, right?
It's a Thursday.
Thursday.
Okay.
You know, carry on.
Yeah,
I'm
plug
gonna,
those.
Carry
Yeah,
on.
Carry
I'm
on.
gonna
All
look at my schedule
Carry
here.
on.
right, so Fox, so we've got a couple segments here on the show that we normally do here, and
do it.
and one of them is called like our Tales from the Road, right? So this is a story that you've got at a gig, may not be touring or whatever, but something that's a gig related. You're like, I almost fell off the stage, or somebody threw up on the stage,
Oh, my
or
God.
whatever the case may be. Do you got anything?
Yeah, I got too many. I got a lot that are, yeah. So I'm just gonna tell the one from Wisconsin.
If you
that's
need
safe.
to change names to protect the innocent, go ahead.
No, I'm gonna tell one that's very safe that just happened. We went up to Wisconsin, Chicago, and Wisconsin, and we flew up there. It was myself and my band, and we were meeting Frank Bang up there and his band. And this is the second time I've done this awesome festival up. It's like a mini fest, like a little blues fest, up in Mercer, Wisconsin, which is the second greatest place on earth behind Jupiter. And it's just like this really cool place. And it's called the Lazy Ace Saloon. So we had to fly in, and then we were playing in Chicago, like just on the outskirts. McHenry, where Frank's from. So we were playing at this bar in McHenry the second night, and I got like an Airbnb, which was awesome, in this really, really nice bougie neighborhood. So it was like a basement Airbnb. It was like 4-bedroom. It was really nice. So I thought it was 4-bedroom. I didn't read it quite right. So I had already told all the guys, because they were like, "Oh, I don't do well if I'm sharing a room." I'm like, "Don't worry, none of you guys are gonna have to share a room. You're good. Don't worry. Everybody, you guys all have a bedroom." And I verified, made sure they all had, and they did. They all had a bedroom. The fourth bed was like a crib. It was not like not like an infant crib, but like a small child's crib. Like maximum age range of like 8. And I had to sleep in this crib.
It was a race car.
I had to sleep in this crib in the hallway that had like railings.
Oh my God.
At one point, one of them like got up to go to the kitchen. I think it was Pete, bass player. He got up to go to the kitchen to make coffee, and like both of my legs were like hanging off the crib.
Oh my God.
It was horrible. I mean, I took like 5 melatonin gummies to try and sleep. It was hysterical though. I mean, it was really, I couldn't be mad because it was too funny to be mad. I remember I took like a story like for Instagram and sent it to all my girlfriends. I was like, "This is where I'm sleeping." Like, is that a crib? Like, it's a crib.
Check out my crib.
MTV Cribs.
That's right.
So I slept in a crib in Chicago. But
That's crazy.
it was, yeah. And then thank God we got to Mercer, Wisconsin, and I had my own bed. I was like, not ready for that.
So, kids, make sure you read your fine print on your Airbnb reservation, or you could be.
Yep.
Sleeping in a crib.
Yeah, the lower back pain was definitely visiting me that next few days.
Oh,
You're
there's
telling me you
definitely
weren't
no
sleeping like a
support in
baby?
that.
I was not sleeping. Although babies
that was
babies
nice.
do not sleep well. So yes, I absolutely was, and I understood why they don't sleep well, because they hate cribs. Give them a bed. They're like, just give me a bed.
Waterbed.
That's crazy.
No,
That's crazy.
Yeah, no water beds.
So, so it's a lot of great stuff here. We've got a show here. You want to come back next week? We'll run out of time here, and we got a lot more to chat about and so forth.
Sure.
Anything going on? Yeah, we'll skip MVP. Yeah. Yeah, we got other stuff to talk about. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, do
Oh, yeah.
you got an MVP? Do you got somebody you want to recognize?
Well, I have to recognize Ben Childs for being my producer on this album because this album's lit and he's excellent. Oh, let's hear some sounds.
Do not come.
There it is.
I'm gonna come. Ben Childs.
about that?
That's good.
So-
You know, you need to get us the ones from like Family Guy. What's it like? Remember when they have the radio segment? Weenie in the butt. Yeah.
Weenie in the butt.
Dingo and the baby. Oh yeah. Just let's download those for next week. Yeah,
So-
So Ben, yeah, I'm gonna give Ben my MVP, and you know, next time we talk, I'll tell you, I'll for sure have a couple other runner-ups. But Ben and this album is gonna be so good, and he's really good at what he does. So
Where are you recording it at?
he at the
Elements.
Nina's Yard studio, Ben's studio. Yep, about to be a new version. He's about to have a new iteration of it soon as well, but it's already really good. He's got a great ear for it. And if you hear Upswell, which was amazing, I loved working with Christopher Maloney, but the way that sounds versus the way this sounds, it's like a whole nother kind of like planet. It's just like it's like running it through an entire different genre, even though that's like surf rock and like a couple of songs on that are still kind of surf rocky. But Ben's just got a very interesting take on things, so it's gonna be great.
Cool. How's Chris doing?
He's good. He's abroad. He's living in I'm gonna think of the wrong country. He's Portugal. I believe.
Wow.
Yeah, he's living abroad. He says he's doing great. I actually talked to him not long ago.
Okay.
And I'm gonna end up talking to him again soon because I want to re-release Upswell in a couple years. So, but he's the man. He's awesome.
Yeah.
Where's he at? In Lisbon? Or
I'm not sure. I think he's kind of off the beaten path a little bit for him.
So
But he's been there a couple years.
You familiar with Chris?
I don't know.
Yeah, he had a studio here
Yeah,
in
Absolute
Jupiter.
Music
Terrible
Studio.
with names.
Absolute studio, right? And he was in a '80s band.
Oh, he's been in a bunch of bands, but he's a real life
Bass
studio
player.
musician
Right, yeah.
from LA. Like he's been on so many albums. He's just the man. He's awesome. So when he left and closed the studio, I was like so upset. And then Ben's like, I'll do British accent. I'm starting to record people. I'm like, oh great, that was not very good. Yeah.
Cheerio.
But he told me that, and I was like, oh thank God. I was so worried. Like, what am I gonna do? And I've gone to some of the other studios, and they're really good. But I like to be a little bit more like one-on-one and. Especially working with guys that are musicians that play out and stuff like that. I feel like they have a different take on things. But I also haven't really been to that many studios here. So
We've got quite a few. When Bryce was on, they talked about some of the guy who was helping produce their stuff. The Smoke Blossom Militias. They had a guy Galtieri. He was also a local guy. So a lot of great people that.
yeah, you
aren't
wouldn't even know.
performing, but they're behind the scenes, they're there too. Yeah, so all right, cool.
It's a special craft.
Yeah, for sure. You got to have, like I said, the big names of Mutt Langs or all these producers. That's just helps move that band up, into that next level for them. So very cool. So great, shout out there to Ben Childs and Gillbillies and 561 Music Podcast there.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so. Very cool. All right, so you got any gigs going to come up here, end of February-ish time, early March? You got?
Yeah, I'm Martin County Fair in a couple days. That's going to be super fun, Thursday the 20th. And then for March, we got Double Roads, coming back to Double Roads. We come back there every couple months. So we'll be there on the 13th, the early slot, 5 to 7:30 before Leafy Greens. And then I'm doing something pretty cool at Northwood on Saturday, March 29th. Just working that out, getting that figured out. But it looks like there's going to be a lot of blues artists on that. So I'm kind of like a blues adjacent, and I love the blues crowd. I love playing for them or opening for people for blues.
Okay.
So that should be pretty cool. I'm not quite sure on the lineup yet for that, but we should know soon. And then April, I'll be up on the road in DeLand and going to Hope Sound to a new venue in Hope Sound the night before, Hope Sound Brewing, and then the next day in DeLand at DeLandapalooza. Playing on the main stage there.
Original music, right?
Original music.
Yep. They still doing the one in Daytona?
Well, they do the one in Ormond, and we just did that.
Okay.
That was
Yeah.
awesome. We were up there in, I think it was October, or no, September's very end of September.
Okay.
And that was great. Brought the full band, played on 2 stages, including the main stage. It was awesome. Really fun. Got another Airbnb and had the right amount of rooms.
Perfect.
No
Good.
crib sleeping.
I'm getting
No,
better.
it was bunk beds this time.
We've done bunk beds.
Bunk beds doesn't
No,
sound.
we've
That
done bunk
sounds
beds.
like a dream compared to what she was going.
Oh,
on
we've done
about.
bunk beds. That was okay. Yeah, but not the crib.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass on that next time.
So they've got DeLand, Ormond, and I don't know if do they still do the one on Main Street, in Daytona?
No, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't
Yeah.
know, but that's SSA. Those guys,
Yeah.
they have two in DeLand because they had a DeLand Music Fest that we couldn't go to in November because we had an iHeartRadio event. And so we couldn't go to that one. So then they were like, "Oh, DeLand Palooza." I'm like, "Yes, I get to go to DeLand." I was like so upset I couldn't go to that. So it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it was pretty. Yeah, so it was. I'd played on the one part of that organization. It was on Main Street. They closed down Main Street in Daytona. All the bars are open. All these places. It was when I played with Sonic Sun. It was 2017 with Billy from Back in
Oh,
Business.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
So that was an interesting. I'll just say it was an interesting weekend. We're gonna leave it there. Okay.
They happen.
So
I've had a lot of
Oh
fun.
yeah.
They keep happening to me even
Yeah.
when I think I'm done. And they're not.
For sure. So, so very cool about this event coming up here. Blues Adjacent said. So we definitely want to talk about the upcoming big blues blast. I don't know. I keep saying blast. April 6th, 1 through 8 p.m. There, you got 5 bands that are coming up here. At Filthy's in Vero Beach. So this is part of the Treasure Coast Blues Society. And if you've been watching the podcast there, you see Brad sporting a shirt there. They have recognized us as the official podcast of the Treasure Coast Blues Society. So I don't know. Are you a member of the Blues Society? They're trying to get more folks in there, get more
I don't know
involved.
that I am, but that's I know of those people. They're great
Yeah,
people,
right.
and that's a Sunday, right?
That is correct.
Might
That's
have
correct.
to roll on up.
Okay, $5 in advance or 10 at the door.
Perfect.
So I mean that's
Roll up.
Yep.
Yeah, might have to get some gals together and come up there and cause some mild problems.
for sure. Yeah,
Titties and beer.
Titties
That's
and
it,
beer
that's
on the
it,
road.
That's it. That sounds like a great country song or country band.
Yeah, country song. It might
Yeah,
get you
you
in
know,
trouble.
if you make it a country band, you're going to be a little limited on the venues, but depending on the town, you can get away with it.
Titties and beers available yesterday.
I like it.
So
It's good.
All right. Well, very cool. Yeah. So we got this event coming up here. A whole lot of other stuff. I know Kevin's going to be hitting Bike Week. The whole week and so forth. He's got his UK shows coming up here. What do you got coming up here, Mr. Bradley?
Tomorrow night, Jams and Cocktails Live, 8 p.m. We're celebrating Mardi Gras.
Nice.
I got all the beads for you.
Yeah. We Lefty Hathaway and the Dr. John tribute is supposed to be going on, but you never know.
You know, we'll see what happens.
You never know. We'll see what happens. But it's going to be a good time anyway.
Yeah.
And regardless, because we drink a lot of hand grenades and eat a lot of jambalaya.
Oh,
so
boy.
it's all good.
People might die.
So yeah, tomorrow.
Devin, the ghost. So very cool. So yeah, so I think I might be actually part of that. Maybe you may see me show up on that show.
Oh yeah,
tomorrow.
you
So,
promised me a really cool, unobtainable
that's right. I've got
bottle of rum.
That's right. I've got-
Unobtainable.
Yes.
I'm going to need more information.
Yeah, so apparently this distillery in New Orleans burned down, and the company never recovered, so they went out of business. And Paul has a bottle or two.
Wow.
It's not made anymore. So
Yep.
and it was really cool because I mean it's not really cool that it's gone, but it was a woman owned business.
Yep.
And it's a shame.
Yep. So definitely, if you want to learn more about that company and prior involvement is, I don't know, remember the episode, but you got to go a little bit ways back in Drums and Rums, maybe in 2022, maybe
We're gonna make it pop
20?
up right here.
21.
Right
So
here will be where the episode number is.
this is where I'm going to have to remember now and write the timestamp down because I'll do the editing later. But yeah, so Celebration Distillation was the name of the distillery. The name of the company is Old New Orleans Rum. It was supposed to be one of the oldest rum distilleries in the country at the time. And
I hope she gets a new business going. I hope so.
It's been a few years now. So I've asked somebody recently at a rum event, and
You
they
should reach
said-
out to her and see what's going on
Yeah, it's a
anyway.
great-
Just,
let's do it.
I've tried. I've got a phone number. I've texted. I've called. I've Facebook messaged and whatever, and just never gotten back. So
I'll reach
it's
out.
unfortunate.
Be like, excuse me, this is
yeah.
Brad
It was-
Brock.
And then blocked.
Yeah,
Blocked.
I think it was episodes.
Brad blocked.
That's a good
It was
one.
episodes
New
that I
pseudonym.
taped in the month of March because it was like celebration of Women's History Month. So I had all the guests in Drums and Rums were all female drummers or business owners rum distillers own, et cetera. So it was they actually made it through Katrina because they had a watermark
God, yeah.
in the distillery
Wow.
where the water came in, and you figure you made it through that. But anyway, so I'm not sure what the story is, but to Brad's point, there's. I don't think you can get your hands on this stuff anymore. But anyway, so
I'll tell my New Orleans people.
yeah,
to
they'll
keep an ear to
they'll probably
the
know the
ground.
name. They probably old New Orleans.
Well, I got
Yeah.
my best friend's going to New Orleans this weekend for a little bit of a Mardi Gras celebration with my brother from another mother. So I'll tell them to
Yeah.
put the ears to the ground,
yeah.
In the town where it all happened.
Yeah, but just don't do it on Bourbon Street because there's pee on the streets.
Yeah. You may want to cut that ear off.
Man, you got me.
Yeah.
You got me by surprise with that
Yeah,
one. I
yeah.
don't know why I wasn't ready for that.
You dropped
but
something in
Listen,
Bourbon Street.
The
It's like
first time I took my wife, she was just my girlfriend at the time. It was a very new relationship at this point, but we went, and she had never been, and she just saw beads on the ground
Oh
and was
no!
going to collect them. And I was like, no. I was like, you don't ever pick up the beads off the ground. If you don't catch them from the sky,
No.
you leave them where they
That's
lay
right.
Yeah.
because there's pee on it.
it's like dropping your phone in the toilet. Oh well,
Yeah,
it's
just
gone.
leave it.
It's
It's
gone.
gone.
It's gone.
It's
That's
gone.
it. Forget it. Yeah.
It was a good run.
Yes,
but-
exactly. So, all right. So, don't forget to check out all the stuff we got going on here. You got Jams and Cocktails. You've got our show here on the B3 podcast. Drums and Rums will be coming back here soon as well with regular shows. Ghost on the Aux. Again, all of our available on the audio, Apple, Spotify, etc. Also, you're watching this on YouTube, so don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Hit those things. Subscribe to Brad's show, Devin's show, Ghost on the Aux, and so forth. Go out and check out some of the music there from Fox there. So we've got some new music. You got a lot of back catalog as well, too. And so, yeah, let's tune in here and tune in next week to see what we talk about next week there. So, all right, brother, you ready to wrap this up here? So,
I'm Brad Brock
and I'm Paul Robertson. This is the Riffs
and Rhythms podcast.
Cheers.